Hello everybody, this is Yoko's Anime Reactions, and this is going to be my review for My Hero Academia Season 5, Episode 11. To be completely honest with you, a couple of things happened in this episode that I was not expecting. I was not expecting to praise Mineta, despite, his pervy nature and what he actually did after his badass move. But it was still good. Despite his pervertedness and the weird outfit that he wears for his hero costume. From what I've read I was reading a thread essentially on this episode because I was looking for a picture for the thumbnail and accidentally clicked on the wrong thing. I meant to click on the picture. I didn't mean to click on the wording underneath it. And it took me to this thread and I was starting to read it. And yeah, a bunch of people are essentially saying that Mineta does actually deserve to be in the hero course, despite his perverted nature. Because not only can his quirk be used very well, I might add, we've seen it on multiple occasions that he's used his quirk to great effect. But he's actually really smart because apparently he ranked in the top 10 on the midterm exams without studying. Apparently he didn't study at all before the exams. And he still ranked in the top 10. Showed you being 10, him being 9, essentially, but he still ranked in the top 10. But then again, you're going to have a hard time ranking past people like Todoroki, Bakugo, Midoriya, Ida, and Momo, essentially. Because those guys, they study their butts off. Especially Momo, because she has to study for her quirk. Because she has to know how things are created at an atomic level in order to be able to create things with her quirk. So she has to be naturally smart. Or smarter than anybody, essentially, in order to be able to create stuff. So, yeah, Mineta's gone up when it comes to respect from me, even if he did use that moment as well to be perverted. But it was a really good combo between him and Mina. Anyway, another thing is that I am getting a bit more respect for Monoma, which is also something I was not expecting to say. Because from what I've also read in that thread, apparently Monoma's a lot more different than when Class 1A is around, and that's probably why they put up with how he acts when they're around. Because it's not very often. And apparently, yeah, he's not only, smart, but he could be essentially very, very powerful. If all he has to do is touch somebody, he could have, if this actually would work, if this actually is possible, he could give a lock of hair from somebody, or a skin sample, or something like that. Something that's biologically from a person and have access to that person's quirk. I don't think that would be possible because I'm assuming that the skin cells would, die off and not be viable, and possibly the hair as well. But if it was possible, he could be very, very powerful all on his own if that could happen. Because all he would have to do would be to get, let's say, for example, let's take Class 1A, for example. Let's say he can have, 3 quirks at a time in rotation? Or is it 4? Let's say 4 for this purpose. He could get Momo's quirk, Todoroki's quirk, Midoriya's quirk, and let's say, for defense, Kirishima's quirk, or Tetsu's quirk. If he used it in rotation, that could be very, very powerful, to be completely honest. Though I don't know if Midoriya's quirk would work, because when he tried to get it, he copied One for All, but it was a dud, essentially. So I don't know if that's going to work. So I would say not Midoriya's quirk, probably Bakugo's quirk, something. I don't know. Something like that, essentially. If he had a combination of those quirks on him while in a fight, he could be a force to be reckoned with, even if it only lasts 10 minutes. he'd still be a force to be reckoned with during that time. And all he'd have to do would be to go touch someone again to re-get the quirk again. He could be a really good team. He could be a really good team member to have. So yeah, lot of respect for Monoma despite his hatred of Class 1A. If I am being completely honest here. And I think the only reason that he hates Class 1A is that they are essentially getting all the attention and all the ways to show off how great they are when it comes to being heroes, and they don't. Because the closest thing that they've gotten is the sports festival and something to do during the training camp issue. And then, even then, Monoma wasn't even a part of that. He was stuck in the building with Kirishima and the others. So, yeah. Cause I don't. Oh wait. No. They had their provisional licensing exams as well, and apparently all of them passed, which makes perfect sense considering what we've seen so far. And that's about it besides these matches. So we haven't gotten to see very much of Class 1B, and even then it was limited. So yeah, Class 1B is probably just as capable as Class 1A is, if I am being completely honest here. So, but yeah, Class 1A has gotten more exposure, I guess you could say, to all the stuff that goes on in the hero world than Class 1B has. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, Midoriya was considering not using his quirk when it comes to fighting Shinzo, because he didn't know if he could still control his actual quirk, or not actual quirk, the one he's been using, because of that whole issue. And then when he actually does get the chance to, like I said, Monoma's copying of One For All was a dud, and Uraraka, actually, Uraraka was probably the MVP in this whole fight from what I've been reading as well, because she not only took down Monoma and got him in the cage, but she also took down the other 3 people. No, 3, yeah. She helped take down all 3 of the other 10 members, mostly by herself. So, yeah, she was definitely the MVP. And I love how, at the end, when they're evaluating everybody, and Mina says to Uraraka, I bet you hugged him real tight when she went in to save him before. And all she did was blush. Really hard. That's it. She didn't freak out. She didn't make herself float by accident. She didn't freak out or anything. She was just blushing and talking calmly. So maybe she's kind of getting used to the fact that she does have feelings for Deku, which I think is adorable. And yeah, she has grown a lot. Actually, they all have. And actually, while this is all going on, Midoriya actually manages to use Black Whip and be in control of it, but obviously, considering I'm guessing it was at 100%, he obviously had pain from it. What kind of damage he did to himself, we don't know. All he did was cause his body to go numb. So he's going to have to get in more control of One For All as a whole before he can start, working on mastering Black Whip and whatever other quirks pop up. Because he's got 6 more coming. And does that include the original holder of One For Alls as well, to stockpile power and pass it on? No, that was the original creation of One For All, so I don't know what will happen with that, but he still has Nana's coming in. He still has, and the other 5 as well, because we know All Might's quirkless. So he's not getting anything out of that one. But, yeah, I am curious to see what the other quirks are. It would be so awesome to find this out, because we don't know anything about any of them. Even more so Nana, because, we don't know anything about her quirk, what she had before she got One For All, or anything. So this could be very interesting, guys. Anyway, Midoriya actually managed to win in that fight, so Class 1A won. Though, to be completely honest, with the way things were going with the Todoroki fight, most likely, Class 1B would have won. I hate saying it, but they would have, because Ida was trapped into that thing. Todoroki was out cold. Shoji wasn't able to fly, so he couldn't go up there and get them. Shoji was the only one who was conscious at this point. So it was Shoji, Todoroki, Ida. Ojiro was probably also out cold as well. or was incapacitated. So, yeah, they would have won had the time not run out. Anyway, so yeah, Class 1B would have possibly won the whole shebang had there not been a tie. But that is just my opinion. If you guys want to go on ahead and, discuss it, feel free to. If Class A would have won that fight, how? To be completely honest, if there not had been a time limit. Anyway, yeah, everybody's confronting Midoriya, like, what happened back there? What was that? And he's like, I don't know, but I'm trying to figure it out. Obviously, he's going to have to tell All Might about all this, and I'm sure everybody would love to be a fly on the wall for that conversation, which we're actually going to get that conversation probably next episode. Because, the thumbnail for that episode is All Might. So, yeah, we're going to be getting that conversation and so, oh boy. That makes me wonder, does All Might know about Black Whip and all those other powers? If not, he didn't get the full benefits of One For All like Midoriya is getting, because if he got the full benefits from One For All, he would have easily beaten All For One, to be completely honest, if he had access to all the other quirks, depending on what they are. Because, with Black Whip and his super strength, yeah, I don't think anybody would have been able to stop him, to be completely honest. But maybe if he had known about it. If he did know about it but hadn't mastered it yet, maybe that's why he wasn't using it, just like Midoriya isn't going to use it until he gets a little bit more control over it. Because he's probably going to have to do the same thing he did when he was trying to master One For All, where he did, the full cowling, where he had to do it in percentages so he wouldn't break anything. This is going to be interesting, guys. I cannot wait for that explanation next episode, which means we're going to have to wait until next week. And then apparently there's a Christmas thing coming up in episode 13, I think? Yeah, episode 13. Oh boy. Wait, so we skipped Halloween? Oh, come on. That would have been awesome. If I'm like to have a Halloween party or something at the school, that would have been cool. Shoot. Especially everybody in costume. That would have been awesome. Anyway, I'll get to work on everything, and I'll see you guys next time.